Hey, shalom, everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome back to the next episode. It's episode 12 of Reading with Shalom. Shalom, shalom. And we're back at it with chapter 7 tonight. We're trying to dive into chapter 7 tonight of The Black Jacobins by Mr. C.L.R. James. The sea of pages that has been laid before us today. Man. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Come on in when you come on in, man. Say something in the chat so I can know the chat working. Like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your people. Y'all out here reading shit, man. We about to read something, learn something, do something, build us something, man. We about to be better than we were than the day before. Because you have all that you need to succeed, baby. So let's succeed. Let's succeed. We're going to succeed in the little things and succeed in the big things. Oh, yeah, I'm out here. I'm out here. So come on and be out here with me. Let's roll. Roll through the pages. Roll through the pages. Let's get it moving. I hope everybody's doing good. Happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath. Man, I sent me a possum to the upper room today. Oh, man, that possum was trying to get to my chickens. So I hit that boy with some buckshot. Dick bell. Boom. Get off my sent that boy to the upper room. When Jesus called. Upper room, that boy. But anyway, hey, I should have took a picture of it. But let me not get Peter after me. Peter bread. Let me not get Peter bread on me. But anyway, we here, man. We're going to jump into chapter 7 today. We're going to finish chapter 7 tonight. That's what we're going to do. We're going to finish chapter 7. It's not that long, so I'm going to say an hour. I'm going to say an hour of reading, but it might be a lot less than an hour reading. I think we're going to be able to move through chapter 7 pretty swiftly. I like that I've been able to finish off chapters instead of, sections of a chapter. To me, that means the reading has been moving. The reading, I've been rowing well. We are almost to the halfway point. We're almost to the halfway point of the book with Mr. Toussaint. Mr. Toussaint is doing his thing. He is maneuvering, making people know who he is. He kicking ass and taking names. Shalom, diggity dog. What up? Hot dog, I dig it, dog. Cat dog. Yeah, so far this has been a good book. I really don't know. People say good books. Shalom, everybody. I think people who are avid readers, I don't know what they think of when they think of a good book. But, one that I've been able to read fairly smoothly, as well as man, I'm gonna kick your ass off of here, Polish. I think one that I can read fairly smoothly and one that keeps me kind of excited about reading it. I think that is starting to make a good book for me. I like the details of the fighting in certain cases, the details of the insurrection. I really like that. I like that it goes more into depth, even though the decrees are in the other book. But the way that they told of how they were blowing people up, and in some cases the slave masters were putting the slaves, bearing them up to their necks and putting honey and stuff on their face, and allowing the other animals to come eat them. I think the details, even though it may be gruesome to somebody, I think the details of the book, really makes it good for me, at least to where I can visualize it a lot better. I can see clearly, what was actually going on, even though other writers may try to paint a cheerful picture of the things that was going on. Yes, shalom. Yes, I made My beard, I've been growing my beard. It's been 9 years now for my beard. And yes, I made my necklace. Yes. But we here to read today. We'll have to talk about the necklace in another one. We are here to read. That's what we're here for. Nope, I don't take testosterone, baby. I'm not like you. But anyway, yeah, let me go ahead and get you out of here. Let me go ahead and block your ass since you wanna act funny. Polish. Anyway. Oh man, it's been a good day today though. Good day today. Good day today. Got a lot of shit done. Now it's time to finish off with some reading. Man, I never thought I'd be the one doing all this reading shit. That's for damn sure. But I'm out here handling business. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll get them out of here too. You're lucky. I'm gonna figure out how to block your ass. I'm gonna block you all that time. Anyway, let's get into it. So before we get into the book, man, the Black Jacobins, Mr. Toussaint Louverture and the San Domingo Revolution by C.L.R. James. You see the pages that we're going to roll through, and we're going to continue rolling through until we get to X marks the spot. We are here to unearth the truth and expose the lies and see what can we find, what treasures can we find, within the book. What new things can we learn? Maybe it's something that we can apply to our life up in this book. Maybe it's something that'll hit you, that can cause you to an uproar in your mind, an insurrection in your mind, a revolution in your mind, so that way we can be better than we were yesterday. Better than we were yesterday, and hopefully better tomorrow, and keep going and keep pushing the same way that Toussaint did, fighting for the freedom of all of Haiti, whether they were the mulattoes, free blacks, or slaves. So we are in chapter 7. The mulattoes try and fail, and we're going to see what they tried and failed at today. But anyway, since it's the Sabbath, we're not going to do nothing. We're not going to do no heavy stuff today since it's the Sabbath. The Sabbath right now. But I asked 25 things. We're going to work our body, work our mind, and work our body. Again, that is the routine that I've been going on, and try to keep up with that routine. If I was here early, we definitely would have pushed it a little bit more. But hey, 25 things, 25 somethings. That's all I ask of you. Do 25 somethings, and then we'll get to reading. So let's go. 25 things. Let's get it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 things. A light 25. Light, because it's a Sabbath. Light 25 things. All right, now let's break into the book. Oh, let's read about Mr. Toussaint Louverture. So it's a pretty short chapter today. It's a pretty short one. It seems pretty short, so we'll see how well I mosey on through. If it's your first time, welcome. If it's your first time to the channel, welcome everybody. I'm SHILO. I'm out here. And if it's your first time, we're gonna go any words that I do not know, any words that I kind of may struggle with a pronunciation of or don't understand what the word is, so I can get a better understanding of it, and so you can get a better understanding of it. We will look it up. I'll stop, take a pause, look it up, whether using the Terminator or the dictionary, either one. Whichever one has it available, we'll make sure it's done. And let's push on. Let's get better. Part 12. This is chapter 7 of the Black Jacobins. Beautiful cover. Toussaint Louverture and the San Domingo Revolution, C.L.R. James, by C.L.R. James. This is chapter 7, The Mulattoes Try and Fail. The mulattoes try and fail. Eminence engenders enemies. The white revolution royalists had long ago marked down Toussaint as enemy number one. And after giving a list of the most dangerous Republicans, one of them singled him out for special attention. And as for Toussaint, he is the great Papa. But the whites were no longer a force in San Domingo, and the potential rulers were the mulattoes. And the mulattoes saw in this growing reputation and friendship of the black leader with Laveau a threat to the domination they considered theirs by right. The mulattoes and some free blacks filled most of the important posts in the troops, and other than those commanded by Toussaint in the municipalities and in the general administration. Valette, the commandant of Le Cap, was a mulatto, and the mulattoes of the South were under the leadership of Regard, Biavus, and Pichenet, and who were harassing the British and building up the mulatto state. The mulatto enslaved, ex-slaves, were glad to attach themselves to the leader of their caste, who needed numbers. And in the West Province, however, the mulattoes were the problem. Most of the rich proprietors joined the British, but the French planters who negotiated with Williamson had adjourned the decree of April 4th. And after all the oratory and the pamphleteering, who cared about that now? And nothing would satisfy these but the colony as it was before. And Williamson hinted to the British government that if he could only be given authority to enforce the provisions of the Negro Code, he would conquer the colony at once. Dundas refused, and Williamson on the spot no doubt felt that you could make the promises, conquer the colony, and then get out of obligations. Dundas seemed to think that a few thousand reinforcements would be sufficient to defeat the black brigands without promising any dangerous concessions. But despite these rebuffs, the mulatto proprietors remained on the whole uneasily pro-British. And whenever Toussaint captured an area, following his usual policy, he welcomed them if they took the oath of allegiance to the Republic. But as soon as his back was turned, they would intrigue and plot to get the British back. And the first great attack of St. Mark suffered from the treachery of the mulattoes, and in St. Mark, Mirabellis, Varetz, and the whole Artibonite district, they were the chief support of the British, who, without them, would have been driven out long before 1798. They caused Toussaint to lose many of his most important captures, and what has been my surprise today to learn that the rebels of St. Mark, with those of Mirabellis, have taken from us Varetz and several other posts and obliged our people to fall back. This reverse has befallen us only owing to the perfidy of the men of color of this district, and never have I experienced so many treasons. And I take an oath that henceforth I shall treat them in a manner very different to that which I have done hitherto. And whenever I have made them prisoners, I have treated them like a good father. The ungrateful wretches have replied by seeking to deliver me to my enemies. And after a great deal of intrigue with the Republicans inside the large and beautiful district of Mirabellis, Toussaint was successful and informed Laveau with great joy that he was now in possession without any shedding of blood, always a great point with him. And alas, a few weeks afterwards, his garrison is driven out. The mulattoes have deceived him again, and in time he lost his patience, and these rascals conspire more than ever. There is a conspiracy. And you must know that a man of color is at the head of it. And the mulattoes would abandon Toussaint's army during an engagement and join the enemy. Scoundrels, rogues, rascals. Toussaint does not restrain himself. And they spread the news that Toussaint wished to deliver the country to the English. All the hatred of these scoundrels is directed against me, and it is by such impostors that they excite the people. But later a new note crept into the complaints. The enemies of liberty and of equality have sworn to do away with me, and I am to perish in some ambush that they propose to lure me into. Let them trap me well, for if they miss me, I will not spare them. These gentlemen say that it is necessary at all costs to get rid of me. And one conspiracy, he says, has Chanlet at its head, and Chanlet was an officer in the Republican Army. Now Toussaint, ex-slave, with his army of ex-slaves, led by ex-slaves, the most powerful force in San Domingo, was essentially the man of the black laborers. And not only the mulattoes who were hanging around the British, but even the mulattoes who were Republicans were watching this threat to themselves in the close intimacy between Toussaint and Laveaux, and Laveau's interest in the popularity with the black masses. Now, this was no question of color, but crucially a question of class for those blacks who were formerly free stuck to the mulattoes. Now, persons of some substance and standing under the old regime, they looked upon the ex-slaves as essentially persons to be governed. Now, Laveaux learned that Laveaux loved the blacks for their own sake, and he loved Toussaint for the services he had rendered, and because he was Toussaint. His reports to the minister are filled with their praises, but he loved them too because he was afraid of the mulattoes and saw in them a counterweight to mulatto power. The mulattoes felt that they could govern the country themselves, and they were aiming at independence, and some of the local whites conspired with them. And these mulatto citizens, Laveaux warned the minister, wished to dominate all, wished to have all places, wished to enjoy everything themselves. And the mulattoes and the former free blacks of Le Cap could not bear to see an ex-slave do well in business or hold any position. Now Valette filled the National Guard of Le Cap with mulattoes and put former slaves into prison, disregarding Laveau's orders, and wrote him insulting letters and intrigued with the mulattoes in the South. Hey, if Regard would have communicated with me, the colony would have been saved a long time ago. And Laveaux heard of these and similar remarks by Valette and begged the minister to help. The chiefs who were formerly slaves are the support of liberty and of the republic, and I am firmly of the opinion that without them there would have already been large movements for independence. The constant threat of the mulattoes while having a fight against the British was wearing Laveaux down. I have been compelled through love of my country for my fatherland to stand at all with a patience beyond the human, but he could not stand it much longer, and his headquarters was at Port-au-Prince. And in July 1795, the convention concluded peace with Spain, and in October instructed Laveaux to make Le Cap his headquarters. Valette had been master of Le Cap. His head had Le Cap for 3 years, and now Laveaux, governor and commander-in-chief, was coming to reduce him and his fellows to a subordinate position. And when Laveaux arrived, he liberated the Negroes from the prisons. And many mulattoes were living without paying rent in houses deserted by former owners. Parad, the treasurer, assessed the houses and made them pay, and they raised the cry of tyranny. And things were coming to a head, and early in 1796, Pichenet and a colleague in their way to Paris came to Le Cap. And instead of going to Paris, Pichenet busied himself in Le Cap, was introduced to the barracks where he addressed the soldiers, wrote numerous letters to the South, and then went back to the South to establish an alibi. If Laveaux intimacy with Toussaint and administration for him had a sound political basis, Toussaint's intimacy with Laveaux and administration for him had the same. Nothing ever escaped Toussaint, and he had been watching the maneuvers of the mulattoes and of Valette for a long time, from the very beginning of his association with Laveaux. And after he had been appointed commander of the West Cordon, he had barteringly asked Colonel Pierre Michel or Pierre Michel, an ex-slave, why he had not kept him informed about Villette's intrigues at Le Cap. Now, during the next 2 years, Toussaint and Villette clashed, and Villette complained to Laveau that Toussaint prohibited the proprietors from selling their coffee to Le Cap. Toussaint Toussaint indignantly denied the charge and enclosed a batch of correspondence to prove its falsehood. I believe you too just, General, not to suspend your judgment, and I hope that you do not believe me capable of having committed such a fault. If Villette had been one of my true friends, he would also have acquainted me with the charges which he brought to him against me. And in spite of the fact that my brothers in Cap Francois intrigue against me in this way, I have nothing to say against them. I regard them always as brothers and friends, and by the grace of God, time will make you know the right. Toussaint was always careful of his reputation, and if he did not have a virtue, he assumed it. Yet, in this case, his indignation and sanctimoniousness seemed justified, and which the mulattoes betrayed. Toussaint called them scoundrels. He cursed the royalists, the British, and the Spaniards. But despite the intrigues going on all around, and the intimacy of the letters, there is not a single malicious insinuation against anybody. And all his life he strove for conciliation with enemies and peaceful settlements in all disputes. But he was not the man to be caught napping. He had his agents in Le Cap. In early March, he knew that the mulatto conspiracy was ripe and might burst at any moment. Why else should he write Laveau for the following letter 2 days before the 20th? Yes, General, Toussaint is your son, and you are dear to him. Your tomb will be his, and he will support you at peril of his life. His arm and his head are always at your disposal, and if ever it should happen to fall, he will carry with him the sweet consolation of having defended his father, his virtuous friend, and the cause of liberty. Yet it is pretty certain that he told Laveau nothing of his suspicions. For Laveau, though aware of the tension, was taken quite by surprise. And at 10 o'clock in the morning on March 20th, Laveau was sitting in his bedroom at Le Cap talking to another officer. And suddenly, 6 or 8 persons rushed in, all mulattoes, not a Negro, not a white man. He thought it was some quarrel that they wanted him to judge, and instead the intruders showered curses and blows upon him. His aide-de-camp rushed to his assistance, but the attackers arrested Laveau and the other officer and the aide-de-camp, and Laveau was in slippers. And in the struggle, they slipped off his feet. Now barefooted and bareheaded as he was, the mulattoes dragged the governor by the hair and by the arm to the prison. Now Parade, the treasurer, was already there, and for 2 days, they stayed in prison without seeing anyone and without any assistance. At 8 o'clock on the second day, the municipality came to Laveau, said that it was in a state of despair at his arrest, which was abominable, and etc., and that it hoped to get him out in a short while. But the municipality was in the plot also, and as soon as Laveau was arrested, it decreed that Laveau and Parade had lost public confidence. It named Villette governor of San Domingo, and Villette wrote to Paget, the military commander of the North, and to Casacalvo of Spanish San Domingo to inform them of his new appointment. But the conspiracy never had the slightest chance of success. The ubiquitous Toussaint had been watching it develop and had his men on the spot, and Pierre Michel commanded a battalion of Fort Liberté near Le Cap, and Pierre Michel had come from Africa in a slave ship and worked as a slave. He had been released by the revolution and could not read or write, but had risen from the ranks to become a colonel. He was a good soldier, dictated clear and concise reports, and then traced over in ink the signature which had been written for him in pencil. He was a man of great promptitude, daring, and ambition, and with a gift for intrigue. Now, while keeping in touch with Toussaint against Valette, he was himself plotting against Toussaint, aiming at mastery of the North himself. And such were the men created by 5 years of revolution. As soon as Michael heard that the news of Laveau's arrest, he understood what was afoot. He grouped those officers who were faithful to the government under himself, and he wrote at once to inform Toussaint, who was at Gonaives, 75 miles away, and instructed all the black chiefs in the neighborhood to call out the armed laborers and march to Le Cap to deliver their friend Laveau. He arrested a courier of Valette's, found on him a list of 6 names, and sent the list for Toussaint, his superior officer, to take action. And the black masses in the town, called out by the friends of the government, ran through the streets crying, "Power to the law, and power to the law." Toussaint was in Gonaives, and when he got the news of the coup d'etat, What? Not Laveau. What? He wrote to Laveau. They have the audacity to threaten you and take up arms against you? What are they aiming at? They will go back to their duty, or I shall take 1,000 lives at once. 1,000 lives for one. He dispatched 2 battalions to march on the city, one of them under the dreaded Dessalines, and he wrote menacing letters to places where he suspected that Valette might have supporters, and those letters were sufficient to keep the would-be revolutionaries quiet. He addressed one of his flaming proclamations to the citizens of Le Cap, and in disrespecting the governor, you disrespect France. What will the mother country say when she learns of your irregular proceedings towards her representative? Cast a glance at the district of the Artabanite and see the unheard of cruelties which the English practice on your brothers. Some are embarked on boats and drowned in the sea, and the rest branded on the cheeks and chained as galley slaves. Even the women of color are obliged to abandon their homes and hide in the woods to save themselves from the barbarity of our enemies. And you, on the contrary, you can live peaceably in your houses. But no, you sow confusion. A few days after he himself arrived in Le Cap, at the head of his personal cavalry guard. But by this time, the insurrection was half over, and Laveau had been released, and Valette had fled from Le Cap with a small body of personal supporters, and the black masses in town and country were solid for Laveau. Toussaint, triumphant, fought for peace, and he sent a deputation to Valette, inviting him to come back to Le Cap, and the deputies left accompanied by 100 black women. Valette told them that he hoped Laveau would be murdered by those very blacks to whom he was showing so many favors. However, he agreed to meet Toussaint, but wanted Toussaint to come out to him. And Toussaint suspected an ambush and refused to go. And meanwhile, the black women who accompanied the deputation had listened to the insinuations of Valette's soldiers, and hurrying back to Laveau headquarters outside of Le Cap, they ran all over the town, shouting that Laveau and Parade had 2 ships in the harbor, loaded with chains to throw the Negroes again into slavery. Immediately, the soldiers who had supported Laveau surrounded the house, calling for his blood, and they were going to murder him when Toussaint appeared before the crowd, led it towards the main storehouse, opened the doors, showed them that there were no chains, and the blacks were satisfied as much by the practical demonstration as by their confidence in Toussaint, a general, a black, and an ex-slave like themselves. But although the insurrection was stifled, Laveau, knowing the weakness of his position, would not take punitive measures. Blockading Le Cap were 12 British and 2 American ships, and the mulatto leaders were obviously still ready for insurrection. Laveau suspected a plot and had to do all he could do to prevent an insurrection which might have had the collusion of the British. The mulattoes were clamoring that the power should be shared. One man should not have all of it. And on the 1st of April, Laveau, accompanied by Toussaint, went into Le Cap and assembled the people and the army of the parade on the parade ground. He knew that the mulattoes were expecting him to make some alteration to the government in their favor and reinstating Valette with greater powers. And to the astonishment of all and the unbounded joy of the blacks, he proclaimed Toussaint assistant to the governor and swore that he would never do anything without consulting him. He called him the savior of the constituted, there we go. He called him the savior of the constituted authority. The savior of constituted authority. The black Spartacus, the Negro predicted by Raynal, who would avenge the outrages done to his race. And Toussaint, overwhelmed with gratitude, coined one of his flying phrases, after God, Laveau. French historians date the elevation of Toussaint above mulattoes and French representatives in the minds of the blacks from this memorable day, and not without the condemnation of Laveau. It is the privilege of historians to be wise after the event, and the more foolish the historian, the wiser he usually aims to be. Laveau could not help himself, and Toussaint wanted him to dismiss Valette, and the Dominican catechism, I don't know what that is. Let's see what that is. Catechism. C-A-T-E-C-I-S-M, catechism. At least that's how I'm pronouncing it. Let's write it down. C-A-T-E-C-H-I-S-M, catechism. 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 Oh.
Here's the definition of catechism.
Catechism.
A summary of the principles of Christian religion in the form of questions.
Oh, yes. Catholic. Catholicism. Catechism. Oh, man. I should have known that. The Dominican Catechism says to pardon our offenses. Lord, the Dominican Catechism says to pardon our offenses, Lord, and as we shall pardon those who have offended us. But in an army, no subordination, no discipline, and no discipline, no subordination, no discipline, and no discipline, no army. If the lieutenant is not subordinate to his captain, the sub-lieutenant, the sergeant, and the soldier will not be subordinate either. They say, as is the master, so shall his servants be. That, at any rate, is what I think, General. Laveau would not take the step. He was afraid that civil war might lead to the loss of the colony. But he wrote to the minister explaining what he had done. By nominating Toussaint, he had checked the plans of these evilly disposed men. And Laveau was certain that Regard was in the conspiracy also. The mulattoes had been blocked for the moment, but French authority in the colony was in danger, and Laveau was very near a breakdown. A citizen, he pleaded. A citizen, he pleaded with the minister. Do not lose time. send troops, a powerful force, send commissioners, send laws, and all that is needed to make them respected. Any more delay will make France lose the 4 years of labor and of fatigue that we true Republicans have suffered. And the French government, alarmed at the growth of mulatto aspiration, hastened to send a commission which landed at Le Cap on May 11th, 1796. It consisted of 5 men, Garrard and Leblanc, and 3 who had played a part in the San Domingo history, Raymond the mulatto, Roume, who was sent to take possession of the Spanish San Domingo, handed over to France by Spain at the Treaty of Balais, and our old friend Santonax. Santonax, luckily for himself, had arrived in Paris just after the fall of Robespierre, and he had stood his trial and had been triumphantly acquitted of the charges brought against him by the colonists. And he was known to be a lover of the blacks, and France was now afraid not of the blacks, but of the mulattoes. Santonax came therefore with the special injunction to keep the mulattoes in check, and he brought only 1,200 men, but plenty of arms and ammunition. On August the 17th, 4 months after Santonax landed, the director confirmed Toussaint's promotion by Laveau to the rank of General of Division, and that of Pierre Macal and other ex-slaves as generals of brigade. Now, France, still engaged in a life and death struggle in Europe, was leaning on the blacks not only against the British, but against the threat of mulatto independence. And thus, the stock of Toussaint as leader of the blacks was rising steadily. And that was chapter 7. We're done. That was chapter 7. The mulattoes try and fail. Man, we moved through pretty fast. It was a short chapter. It was a short chapter, but hey, we did good. Chapter 7, this has been part 12. Part 12 of The Black Jacobins by C.L.R. James, Toussaint Louverture and the San Domingo Revolution. Man, they wanted to kill Toussaint. They wanted to kill Laveau. The mulattoes, even before the insurrections had started, the mulattoes was had a how you want to say it. It was some shit between the mulattoes and the slaves. It was some shit going on. The mulattoes thought they had the upper hand because they was half white, or they were children of the slave masters. The first initial laws or decrees that was sent down was for the mulattoes, and the mulattoes had slaves. The mulattoes had property. The mulattoes had businesses where the ex-slaves didn't, or where it was more mulattoes that had it than regular so-called slaves had it, or the free blacks had it. The mulattoes didn't have to buy their freedom. The mulattoes were given their freedom due to them being the children of the slave masters, where the slaves had to buy their freedom. They had to work and buy their freedom. So it was always, kind of like from what I've read, it seems to be like a Willie Lynch thing, put the light skin against the dark skin. It definitely was that. Light skin against the dark skin, men against the women, big against the small, tall against the short. It was always a adversity, or a bucking of each other. It was always that, between the mulattoes and the blacks. They thought they was better. The mulattoes thought they was better. The mulattoes had a better education, because they would be sent to Paris, and they didn't have an issue teaching the mulattoes, being that they were the slave master's children. The slave master would teach them. For you to be taught as a regular slave, you had to be exceptional. You had to be exceptional, or you had to get a master who wasn't a forward master, and not many of them had that. Not many of them had that. I think Toussaint, I believe, if I remember correctly, Toussaint had a master. Toussaint hadn't been whipped not one time with the whip. Not like a lot of other slaves. Toussaint, I don't think Toussaint he didn't have a scar on him, from the whipping post for many of those things. So, hey, it's still, you can still see. I wonder if that's why, along with the Willie Lynch, I wonder if these are some of the things and reasons why they still have it is a thing for yellers or people who consider yellers. Like down here in Louisiana, there was a town, I forget the name of it, man. It might be Chalmette. It might be Chalmette. Hmm. There's a town of just yellers, just mulattoes or look mulattoes, high yellow people who, it was always said that somebody my color was too dark. I was too dark to be down there. You couldn't be my color in this town. You could not, you could not, and they would not let you deal with their women. You couldn't deal with any of their women. You had to be a mulatto, or you had to be high yellow. You had to be high yellow to deal with them. And I believe it's still that way today. It is still that way today. And there is still a budding of the heads when it come to the skin color. It's still a budding. It's still a budding. Like two rams just boom, bucking them boys. But it is what it is. Hopefully, hopefully those type of things can be conquered. But once again, it's going to take a revolution of your mind. But the seed has to be planted, and the revolution and insurrection has to start with you and with your mind. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Some of these things we have to tear down the plantations in our mind, because how do we expect to grow? How do we expect to be able to change and move forward and move on to bigger and better things if we're still battling the same bullshit that we've been battling? We still holding on to it. I don't want to let you go, slave master. No, you gotta let this shit go. You gotta burn it down. You gotta burn it down in your mind. You gotta burn that shit down in your mind, and then create a new nation, a new mind frame, a new thought pattern. You need to fortify and put a defense of what you allow, the same way Toussaint did. He defended Lecomte, or he was defending these certain areas against the Spanish and the British. You need to defend yourself against the shit coming in from the Spanish and the British, because it's propaganda that's still going to be played. It's propaganda that's still laid out in front of you. And sometimes you can't help it. It's on the radio, the TVs, the magazine. It's what you allow to be bombarded into your mind, what you allow to be downloaded. You have the power. You have the choice. You can choose what you allow in. Some places it's a little harder than others. Like when you're in, like I hate being being that I don't celebrate Christmas, but I hate being in Walmart around Christmas time, because they always are playing "It's beginning to look a lot like bullshit." That's what I be thinking. But the songs get you, because these are things that I know that I would sing, heard, when we was looking at Frosty the Snowman when I was a little kid, and watching the what is it, the Miracle on 36th Street, whatever it is, 31st, whatever it is, Miracle at Christmas, whatever. All these different little things. You can't make Walmart stop playing that shit. So you have to, but you have to choose. You have to choose. You have to figure out a way. You have to figure out a way. How can you fight against, because it's a battle. It is a battle for your mind. It is a battle for your mind. So how are you going to take your mind back? Because that's what you need to do. Take your mind back. And sometimes, you have to start small. You have to start small and work your way up. So you have to break habits and build better ones, which is what I'm trying to do. It's part of what I'm trying to do. Break the habits of not reading shit to build the habit of reading shit. Plenty. They say you want to hide something from people, where you place them? In the book. So let's see what's hidden. Let's see what they try to hide from us. Let's see what they don't want us to know. Let's see what can we use to help fortify our minds against the humbug, the shenanigans, the tomfoolery. What can we use? It's all there for us. And we have all that we need to succeed. We have all that we need to succeed. As long as you have breath to breathe, you have all you need to succeed. And it's on you to do so. Succeed in small first, and then work your way up to succeeding in big, which is what Toussaint did. He worked his way small. He worked his way up to general, colonel, to second in command to Laveau. He worked his way up. And look at the man he was. He wasn't a man that within what is talked about so far about Toussaint, he was a man of good character. He was a man who stood on that. He stood on business. Toussaint wasn't trying to do, and he tried his best to fight his battles without bloodshed. And what's the word I'm looking for? He prided himself. He prided himself on winning battles without bloodshed. You know, it's just the sternness of him, the confidence in him. You know, people really couldn't. It's just like when in Django, you know, it's like Toussaint was that nigga on the nag. Who is this nigga on the nag? Why is Toussaint? You better not mess with Toussaint. Toussaint like Superman. Oh, Toussaint got the power. Toussaint got that glow. They say Toussaint he had a rigorous exercise regimen. You know, he wasn't no slouch. You know, hey, and he demanded the people be the same, you know, so, which I don't think is nothing wrong with, but you have to do it for yourself. You be Toussaint of your own mind. Be the Toussaint Louverture of your own mind. Take it over. Lead the insurrections in it. You have the power. You have the power. You have it. Hey, but this has been episode, I don't know what episode, but this is a part 12. Part 12 of Reading with Shiloh. Thank y'all, everybody who stopped by. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell your people, man, Shiloh out here reading shit. We doing shit. We building shit. We learning shit. We trying to be better. Better, better, better. And don't let nobody stop you from trying to be better. All it takes is a little bit, one step at a time, and we can climb mountains. One bite at a time, and we can eat elephants. Oh, I'm just saying something big. One step at a time, a little bit at a time. We can do it. We got this. Now, along with the habit that I'm trying to build, along with reading, let's continue the other habit. Work your body, work your mind, work your body. That is the routine that I'm shooting for. Even though, once again, it's a Sabbath, so I'm not going to be doing nothing heavy. So I'm going to do the same thing. Let's get 25 things. 25 light things. Light things. Do something light. Pick your leg. That's light. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 light little things, little something. Hey, I'm gonna start moving up tomorrow night. Tomorrow night after the Sabbath is over, man, I think I'm gonna start picking up. I did 100 jumping jacks the other day on the live. We're gonna keep going. You know, I'm gonna try to up the ante. You know. I don't know about y'all. I be feeling fat. I know I'm not, but I gotta get the weight off, man. I don't like feeling like I'm heavy. I like feeling like I'm heavy, man. I can't be no big boy. I was that. I can't be that no more. I got to rip and run with my boys. We're going to be in the woods fishing. Oh, man. I got to be able to maneuver when I'm knocking down whatever possums, deer. That possum was in my chicken run today. I knocked that boy to the upper room. Get out of here. Get your ass in the upper room. Go meet your possum brothers and sisters that are sent to the upper room waiting on you. They gonna open the door for you. That boy in the light. He was trying to play possum. Ooh, you can play possum all you want. When that shotgun got to my hands, I block him. Get your ass out of here. Trying to kill my chickens. Anyway, man. Hey, happy Sabbath to everybody, man. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. Even the bullshit comments that's been in here by old... I need to block that sucker. I can answer questions now while I'm talking. I can answer the questions now. Did you make that wood picture and necklace? Yes. Yes. You're really good if you did. Okay, yes. I am carving. Yeah, about everything in here I've made. Everything I've made. For the most part. Well, except for I didn't make the bookshelves. I have bookshelves that I have made. I got pieces that I'm still working on. I got a big piece over there. It's the it has the firmament and the moon, the sun, the stars. I gotta finish doing it, finish carving it, and I gotta paint it. I gotta figure out if I'm gonna paint this shit. This is one that I was doing the other day. I finally put the eyes and stuff back on it. 3 of my children. And I still got a little bit left to do on it. I gotta go back and do the eyes, and I gotta do the details now. And this is another one I was working on. Boom. I just added back the eyes and the mouth, the other essentials, so I can go back and carve them. But I'm not doing no carving today. Not today. It's a Sabbath. No carving. The chessboard I made. Everything, most everything in here I've made. A lot of stuff I make. I'd rather build stuff than buy stuff. I'd rather build stuff than buy stuff. The shit that my desk setup that's behind this camera, I built. My bed, my sofas, my chairs. I built a lot of shit. I'm working on. Well, I ain't working. I'm gonna build my table as soon as I finish remodeling. Remodeling my dining area. I gotta wait because I gotta find me a whole slab. I want a whole slab that I can build it out of. A tree better not fall around here because if I find it, I'm gonna try to build something out of it. Yeah, I'd rather build stuff. And that gives my sons. I want what they call them core memories. My sons will have the core memories of me building shit, them seeing me build stuff, and also them helping to build it, so they can get the experience and I can teach them everything I know, because that is part of the objective as a father, to teach your children the things you know, so hopefully they don't make the same mistakes you make, and hopefully they can be better than you. And that is the objective, for them to be better than me. That's another reason why I read so much, or I have been reading so much, is because I want them to be able to see me read, so that way they don't have the same attitude as I had all these years of my life where I hated to read. It's still a bother at times. Don't get me wrong. Reading is still a task to do, but I definitely have been working on it, and I definitely have achieved a lot greater success in reading as I have before. We're on book number 27. This will be the 27th book that I will assassinate, and I'm going to keep moving on. And I'm going to keep assassinating books left and right. We're going to keep rolling through sea of pages left and right. I'm going to keep destroying worlds like Oppenheimer, SHILO. As we move one book at a time. One book at a time, one session at a time, one episode at a time, one chapter at a time, one page at a time, line upon line, till we seek and find what treasures have they left behind. Man, I'm out here. Shalom. Let's be better. Let's keep pushing. So till next time, everybody. Ooh. Till next time, to the next episode. Like I said, we'll come back episode 13. We'll pick up in chapter 8. The white slave owners again. Oh shit. They back at it. They back at it. The pink people. The pink people is back at it. The book has 13 chapters. 13 chapters. We're on chapter 8. The book has 30. We're almost to the end, man. These last chapters are gonna be some thick chapters, I can tell, because of the we're not even yet to halfway of the book. Halfway point won't be until chapter 9. Chapter 9 will be the halfway point. But we'll keep pushing. Fuck. Damn. Chapter 13 is damn near 100 pages by itself. Chapter 13 is damn near 100 pages by itself, at least 90 pages by itself. Chapter 13 go from 289 to 379. What a jump. What a jump. What a jump. Once we get to, I'm going to just call it halfway at chapter 10. I mean, chapter 9. Yeah, chapter 9. I lie. Chapter 10. Yeah, once we make it to chapter 10, we'll be halfway through the book. Once we make it to chapter 10, we'll be halfway through the book. And just like I'm reading this and trying to build better habits, that's the same thing I'm doing with the carving. I used to have a machine that did all the carving for me. My machine broke, and now I'm working on making my hands the machine. So that way, it don't matter if the lights go out. It don't matter if we get thrust back into the Stone Age. I can still do the same shit I was doing. I could still make things. I could still build things. I could still take what's in my mind and put it and make it come to life. Because I've been given a power. Got power. And you have great power too. It's in you. It's in you. Use your powers. You have been given wonderful powers. It's up to you to use them. Don't abuse them. That's a power. That's a power. That's a power. That's a power. These is powers. Your love, that's a power. These are powers. Use them. Use them. Use them wisely. Use them wisely. So, like I said, man, that's been this episode. That's been this reading. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody that showed up. Shalom, shalom. It's your first time. Welcome. Welcome to Reading with Shalom. Welcome to Bootsoulja337's channel. I'm Shalom. What's up? So we'll keep pushing. We'll keep pushing for greatness and greater things. Better today and a better tomorrow. Till next time. Well, catch me tomorrow. Catch me tomorrow. I'll pick up for the Sabbath reading. We'll get back into 1 Chronicles. I'll probably open it up with when I get up, I'll probably do Rise and Scripts since I'm trying to start that new thing. We'll do Rise and Scripts and keep going in the Wisdom of Solomon. And then later on that day, I'll do the Sabbath reading where we'll pick back up in 1 Chronicles and try to finish off. I don't know how many chapters we have left in 1 Chronicles, but we'll try to keep reading through. We'll try to keep reading through 1 Chronicles and see what it is. What can we learn and grow from? What can we use and apply to our life? What treasures can we find? So, anyway, hey, I hope y'all have a nice night. Stay warm, stay dry, stay healthy. Shalom. Happy Sabbath, everybody. I'm out. I'm out, you.